want to let everybody know ahead of time, so.
That's perfect. I do have to run at 4:30 for that.
Yep.
For commission and everything else.
Okay.
Because they were in the community room all day, so
Yeah.
thank you.
Yeah, no problem at all. Yeah, just waiting for Jolene to arrive here probably in person, and then we'll be able to get things underway, so. Maddie, you cool? Can you hear me?
I can. Oh, can you hear me now?
I gotcha.
Oh, perfect. I don't know what I did, but I fixed the microphone.
Sounds cool. So
Perfect.
we'll get going here in just a little bit.
Sounds good.
So with it being 4 o'clock, I will call the meeting to order. You want to take roll, Riley?
Sure, I want to take roll. Jolene Schatzinger, Maddie Coster,
Here.
Travis Lipto,
Here.
Jason Mansmith.
Here.
We have a quorum.
All right. Officially, Maddie is just as a soon-to-be member, so don't think she can vote on anything because the mayor hasn't appointed her quite yet.
Oh, I'm sorry,
So-
we'll strike that from the record.
So we will get Maddie kind of approved through the mayor here in the next few weeks, but she's just kind of joining in to kind of listen here a bit, so.
The meeting minutes will reflect that.
Okay, great. So we do have in front of you just a review of the meeting minutes and the 2022 budget, but I did not see the minutes, so I'm not sure if they're available from the last one. I did not have them in my email, so we'll just maybe table that till next time and see what comes up. Then we'll talk a little bit about the 2022 budget. Anything you need to comment on, Riley?
I think unless anyone has a specific question, it shows that we're halfway through the year and we've gone through an entire quarter of our cost-intensive sports programming at the beginning of the year, and we're still well ahead of schedule overall.
One question I had, and we can talk a little bit about it later, probably the professional services, was that the website and social media stuff?
52,910.
Yeah, 52100.
That's the website.
The website, okay, cool. And is that no more billable for the rest of the year? Is that completed?
She's, may I see this, please?
Yeah, so,
She's been, no, that looks good. I don't know. I've been allowing Whitney to perform her work and send billing
okay,
as she performs it.
okay.
It's been irregular. I think we've paid 3 of the 6 months so
Okay.
far.
Okay,
She's only invoiced 3 of the 6 months.
okay. We'll talk about more of that, I think, later here as we talk about some of the programming and operations and such, so. Any other questions for Riley on the budget? I think Jolene might be trying to get in.
She locked out?
She locked out. So, we'll just pause for a second.
Oh, you're not already?
Yeah,
The door was locked.
that's
I
okay.
couldn't get in. So, anyways.
We're just actually taking a look at the budget for 2022, just reviewing it so far. And,
So I report being here.
right. Now that we do have quorum.
At 4:05.
Did you hear me knocking?
No, we didn't.
Wow. Okay.
Maddie's on the phone and Travis is on the phone for Zoom as well, so. Any other questions for Riley concerning the 2022 budget? Okay. Hearing none, we'll go to reports. Programming, just a few options there for you, if you can just kind of give us an update as to where we are on some of these things.
Summer programming update. We're going to be able to share some new music program from the Green Lake Festival of Music, and we're asking artist approvals before we put them up. They're going well, but we'll have we'll have a few hours of good programming that we can share with Ripon Channel. Other than that, it's just meetings.
Any other things that you're thinking about that you are looking, you want some information on?
During the summer,
Yeah,
for 4A1, no, not especially.
okay.
Well, I mean, we're always open to something, but it depends what it is, I guess.
I'll just keep you having.
4A2,
Yeah.
fall and winter programming update. We're moving ahead with fall and winter sports schedules as usual. And meetings, I've set up an ambitious fall program that includes some soccer and some volleyball as well as football. That will fill some airtime.
So remind me again, the sports that you cover right now, or you're thinking about covering are, for a reminder?
High school varsity football, Ripon College football when they're at home, Ripon High School soccer, select home games, and Ripon High School volleyball, a few select home games. And when winter comes around, we'll have Ripon High School and Ripon College basketball. And it looks like there aren't a lot of wrestling matches, but if there are high school wrestling matches in Ripon, we'll cover those.
Thanks.
Sure. And 4A3, Ripon Area School District, will continue to go over to the high school and record and broadcast the monthly Ripon Area School District Board meetings. And this afternoon, I'm going to go a little bit early and live stream their community engagement session that they're having before the regular board meeting.
You didn't mention concerts. Don't you sometimes do concerts for the school district? Or no?
I'm sorry, that was in the so obvious and routine category in my mind that it just didn't come out.
Uh-huh.
Thank you for mentioning that.
Yeah.
Yes, we do.
For the high school and middle school, I guess Ripon School District.
For the school district, we like to cover the concerts. We think that all the music faculty does a nice job and the kids do a great job. And it's an important part of the community. And with Ripon College, every time there's something appropriate or interesting that happens there that we can get to, we like to get to it, especially Center for Politics and the People. They've had a very assertive and interesting mix of programming.
All right, any discussions on programming? Otherwise, we'll move on to operations. Anything to talk about in those subjects that I have there for you? Is there any technology that we're still trying to get implemented, or is everything kind of in and working as to be expected?
Oh, if we get to 4B4, yes, the OTT app progress is still a work in progress.
Okay.
There's been a fair amount of back and forth by email with Castus, and we're still not paying for it, but it just seems like it's a little bit difficult to make schedules match so that we can make it happen.
Are there other communities that are using it? Like, is there anything that we can like preview and see, or are we kind of like the guinea pig on this?
Oh, no,
Okay.
I don't think we're a guinea pig.
Okay.
I don't think so. I think
So they have it together, that's just,
Castus does have it together. I think that Castus might be, like everyone else, they're maybe a little understaffed.
overwhelmed? Yeah, okay.
That was skipping ahead a little bit, though.
Yeah.
Other technology besides that, everything that we have we use everything that we have. I'm not sure what I should specifically bring up.
Yeah, I didn't know if there was anything that we had in at one time that we were still waiting on or anything like that, so I just wanted to provide an update. I know we got some new
No.
equipment coming, so.
No, we're good with that.
Okay.
Advertising update. Just had a conversation with the hometown broadcasting sales department, so this covers numbers 2 and 3, and it sounds like sales are going well, and we had a conversation about the upcoming schedule out into basketball already, and it looks like things are gonna be fine. It should be a lucrative partnership for us again.
Can you remind me, when you say sales are going well, what does that specifically mean?
It means that the way our partnership works is that hometown broadcasting handles the ad sales and handles the collections for the ad sales. And Ripon Channel provides audio from our live stream for radio broadcast, for live radio broadcast, so they have live radio programming. And then the sponsors get the additional benefit of having their graphics on video forever on YouTube. So they get Ripon Channel coverage and radio coverage for the price that they pay to hometown broadcasting, and then hometown broadcasting and Ripon Channel will share the money.
Awesome, so they just write you a check, or, I mean, they do all the sales, they collect it all, and then they give you money.
Their part is to do the sales and the collection, and our part is to deliver product.
Right.
Right.
And they're current, paid, up to date, everything's good?
Oh, yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Current, everything's current and fine. Yes.
All right.
Okay. 4B5, staffing levels. We're still on the lookout for one additional camera operator type person who can be available for weekend evenings and afternoons at football games. And for other sporting events further into the winter.
So is there a rigid application process or anything? Like, how does, if somebody's watching or, tuning on in, just reach out to the Ripon Channel office and?
Reach out to Ripon Channel and say, hey, I want in. Right. If you like to work odd hours, long hours, and sometimes difficult conditions for low pay, but use very
That's a great selling.
use very good equipment and try to have a good time doing it, that's the right place to be.
Is there, and do we have anything running on the channel currently, says that we're looking for?
No, I
anything?
need to get that
Okay,
up.
okay.
Yeah, I've been sort of holding off on
And
that.
then we probably should
It's
share
time
that,
now.
obviously, on our
Yes.
socials and those kind of
Yes.
things too, so. yeah.
Before I move on, can we, so under the advertising, you may just talk about that where they give us money. So I'm looking at the budget, advertising is 0, so it's not there. Where is that money accounted for that we get from them?
That would be in the general fund, so it'd be in a separate income report, not on that page. That's only expenditures.
Oh, I see, I knew that, here, I'm
So-
looking at.
So,
Right.
yes. So we would have to look at that particular line item, which I could double check, and we could try to get to you all, the specific line items that come in for cable franchise fees, state aid, and then advertising. I don't know, I could maybe go check, but I don't know if there's been anything yet this year in advertising. I'd have to look. I don't know if there's
Oh,
been any.
we've had income payments this year.
Okay.
Earlier this year from basketball
Okay.
sponsorships. I want to say that the sports season overall was 14,157. That could be wrong, but I want to say that.
Thanks.
Speaking of funding, anything on the state funding update? Is there anything we've heard from them, or we just they said, hey, we were gonna give you this money and we're still chilling on that, or?
They did give it.
They did give,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, so the state funding has been paid for the year,
Okay.
for the first, I think it was the first year they did it, Riley, or, can't remember.
So this was for 2021, that was paid in
Yeah, it
2022?
was, yeah.
So kind of.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, 21 was the first year.
And how many years out is this gonna go? Was it 3, maybe?
No, it's a 10-year thing, so I think we have 6 more.
Okay.
But it scales down.
Mhm.
I guess the answer to your question, if we got it, is it normal to only have expenditures? Why not have income and expenditures on our monthly report? Then that would have answered your question, right? You know,
Yeah, I mean, I certainly can
Yeah,
ask.
we can, the thing is when we're going over income on the budget side of everything, we would have to pull those specific accounts to the cable TV from the general fund to show you what is specific to cable TV. We can do that. The thing is cable TV, and other departments don't always make enough money to cover their expenditures, so, but from an informational standpoint, we can get that to you.
I don't know, we're always a net contributor to the general fund, aren't we?
With state aid, probably, yes.
That's part of it.
yeah, I thought we have been though, traditionally, you're right,
For
aren't we?
two
Right?
decades, we've been a net contributor to the
Right.
general fund.
Yeah, I've done one budget here.
Right. All right, feedback. I was just curious, how are we promoting that? Are we letting that out? I mean, and how are we getting it?
Well,
And I'm not
guess-
expecting that we need to, right? You know, because there are probably very few people that, ever reach out about those kind of things, right? Unless something's wrong.
I guess, well, you're right. I guess I don't actively solicit it, but my phone number is public information.
Right.
And the comments section on YouTube is always enabled, so we sometimes get comments during our streams. I have an email address that's publicly available, and the studio landline phone still works, and we get voicemails there from time to time.
Are we running like a specific slide that says, hey, for information or for comments or
Ideas.
to like to contribute your ideas?
Yeah.
Probably not.
We aren't, or we
We
probably
probably
won't?
are not.
Okay, okay.
Yeah. Not that I don't think we should, but I don't think that we are.
Okay.
I know that we did for a long time. Well,
Jason, I think that's a good idea.
that's good, that's a question to ask Chris.
Okay.
He's been deeply involved in the slides and the graphics.
Okay.
And since he's deeply involved in that, I'm happy to let him be deeply involved in that.
So who's following up on that? Are you gonna ask Chris, or are you saying it to us?
Yeah, I can, otherwise I can.
I'll do that, I'll ask him.
Okay, perfect. All right, move on to discussion items, and I know Riley and Travis are trying to get out so they can go to this community engagement thing by around 4:30 or so, so if we think we can get through these things and we might need to table some things to the next meeting, we can certainly do so. So just kind of wanted to readdress those goals that we maybe have for 2022 and or 23 and 24 and beyond in a couple of different areas. I think we can provide a better idea then to the council and other community members of what, we're working on as an organization, as a committee, to just, make sure that we're doing things and staying ahead of things, I guess, too. So kind of broke it down into a couple of different ideas. So programming ideas, revenue, technology updates, and partnerships. Thoughts on that? Again, I'm not looking for answers or by any things, but just, is there things that we would like to see in terms of our programming? One of the things when we did this last time was we wanted to move more towards the non-cable subscriber, right? And I think we've done that with the addition of our YouTube and Facebook Live and a few other things that we've gone to that. So as those things continue to change and program ideas continue to grow, there's something that we need to be stepping up in or adding to what is that. So, and again, these are evergreen, right? So these can be forever. We're not expecting a giant list of anything today, but if we can keep them at least in the background and keep it on the agenda moving forward here. I think that'd be good. Which is gonna lead us into revenue, because we're gonna probably, if state funding keeps dwindling, right? We're gonna have to figure ways to make sure that we're covering the revenue side of things outside of, you know, what we're already doing now and how we do that.
We will find increasing pressures.
Okay. In such ways as?
Well, you just laid it out.
Okay.
If the franchise fee funding continues to dwindle, and it will, you know, the state promised to make us whole for 10 years. And if they continue to follow through on that and make us whole for 10 years, we'll be okay for another 6 years. But then we'll fall off a giant cliff.
Well, we can't be the only local access channel that's facing this situation.
We're not. We could
Right,
look-
so.
We could look at consolidation. We could, I don't know what, it would be quite a sales job, but perhaps we could partner with other communities in the area, with smaller communities like Berlin, Princeton, Green Lake, Marquezan, that have franchise fee collection and don't do anything with their allotted channels. Maybe we could find some reasonably priced contractual situation where we could provide them with meeting coverage,
Okay.
things like that. Maybe they'd see that as an opportunity to increase their government transparency for a lot less money than starting up their own channel.
What, I think I'd also be curious to see what other channels are planning for, right? If they're kind of in the same boat that we are.
That's really-
Can we have a discussion with them and say, hey, what are you guys looking at doing? Or, you know, what's your next step potentially here in the next few?
Maybe we need to hire a sales rep.
Right? Not interested in that, I take it?
Me, I'd be terrible. You wouldn't want me.
Yeah.
So I just would add, I mean, I think ultimately, where is TV and technology heading?
Right.
In the next 5 years? Because if you would have said 5 years ago, you'd need 7 different subscriptions to watch your favorite shows, you would have said, no, there's no way. So where is it gonna be in another few years? And how does this remain relevant? And or how do we keep it relevant
Right.
to those changing times? And that's gonna answer your question whether or not there's revenue and or the plug gets unpulled. Really? I mean,
I think that's a fair point. And I think as we consider that, my feeling is that it's important to remember all the way through that, at least to me, the core mission is government transparency, meeting coverage, and making sure that what local government and all of our local taxing authorities, the fire district, the school district, what everyone does is that much more transparent and easily available. That we need to make sure that we maintain those core missions.
Speaking of partnership, what is our partnership with, like for, you know, of course, the local Ripon Commonwealth Press? You know, they're doing their stories on our meetings, we're broadcasting them. Are we at a place where we're sharing each other's, you know, where they're sharing that, hey, go watch this here? Is that something we've ever talked about with them?
We've never had an official conversation. I reached out, 20 years ago, I reached out to the Commonwealth Press, and they weren't very receptive to a partnership with us at
Well,
the
again,
time.
who
But
knows,
that was
20 years, yeah.
That was 20 years ago.
Is it worth a new conversation? Is that something
It
that?
might be worth a new conversation, I think, unofficially, and I don't really know this. Now, I'm only speculating, so anyone watching this is only speculation. But I think that sometimes the Commonwealth Press might watch our coverage to write a story if they can't get to a meeting. And I also know, that this is not speculation, that sometimes they share photographs with me if I'm covering a meeting and they have a better angle of people's faces than I do with video. And they'll share photographs and I can put those photographs in the video coverage.
So you already have a relationship.
Yeah,
So maybe it is worth a conversation of how we can strengthen that relationship,
right,
potentially.
right. Because they're,
Well, there's a digital angle for them as well too, you know.
There
is. Yeah.
There's, you know, they're with Wisconsin Media and their digital push and all those things, so there could be some collaboration but maybe they're not interested either, right? You know, it's hard to
I
say
guess,
that too.
yeah, I
Right,
guess
so-
if we don't ask, we don't know.
Right, so I think maybe as we move forward, that'd be a conversation that but much like Adam says, I think we gotta look at this could continue on or it could just sunset out and it could say, yep, the way things go, you know?
Well,
And we would prefer not to, but.
There's always gonna be technology that could come in to
Right.
more easily replace it, so it could always still come through in some fashion,
Right.
but as people don't use cable subscriptions anymore,
well, I think they'll still have cable subscriptions, it's just that the state has stopped forcing cable to pay for it, pay us for it. Said our rights of way don't matter anymore.
All right, so next steps?
Right.
Well,
I
going
don't
back
wanna be
to-
the supervisor that throws in the towel.
But going back to partnerships, do we also want to just put on our calendar before the start of the school year? Because we do so much with the local school district and the college. Do you want to meet with, you know, maybe a media person or someone from the college or the school district? Just to make sure that, you know, you got everything ready to go and there's not any other ideas there, or you have all the technology needs you need?
Well, I think there's gonna be some concern, because Mike Westmeyer's no longer there, so,
That's what I mean, so we need to make a good.
so the sports
Connection.
information
So
director, yeah.
we'll need to refresh the college connection.
Right.
Our needs from the college in the past have been pretty minimal and they've met them, but yeah, Mike's gone now, so.
So I guess my point is, are we gonna wait till they reach out, or are you going to reach out to
Now,
them?
I guess, who do I reach out to now?
Maddie, any thoughts on that?
Yeah, so I would say Ryan Kane, the AD,
Okay.
and then they'll be able to loop in
Oh.
the person
Well,
who
good.
is going to be the new candidate. I know they're interviewing right now for
He's
it.
an approachable person.
Perfect, thank you.
Yep.
Okay. Okay, good. Thanks for mentioning that.
Mhm.
And as far as Ripon High School, the administration and the staff have always been really helpful. And they, you know, it's a public school, they adjust to changing schedules every day, so if we ask them something on short notice, they're okay with that.
Yeah, that wasn't a question of do they work well with us, whether the college or
Oh,
the
oh,
school
as-
district. I was just thinking it's good for us to cultivate these relationships.
Yes,
Yeah.
yeah. Good point.
So I know we just have a couple of minutes so we can try to get this all wrapped up, but is Whitney still doing reports for us on social media or website analytics, or are we seeing those? Because I haven't seen them, usually she's kind of looped us in, but if she isn't, we can get them.
Yeah, I think that maybe this is a discussion that we should table until August.
Okay.
What is the appropriate term? We can't say table, we postpone.
just postpone it.
Also, that,
We
Well,
learned that.
I guess we're not having the discussion, so how do we table something we're not talking about? Thank you.
okay.
Idea for the next agenda. as
Yeah,
they say.
absolutely,
That one.
right,
Yeah.
so.
Right.
And I guess I'll try to find out more about that. You know, if you guys need to know how to do it internally, just reach out. I'll be happy to work with you. We can get that taken care of. So, it's easy enough, so. Any suggestions for next meeting agenda, please send them my way so we can make sure we get that taken care of for everybody. Hopefully by that time, we'll have Maddie as an official member. I know,
You already said you're gonna keep these on every.
yeah, I'm gonna keep those on pretty regularly in the discussion items, just so we can keep everybody aware of those, so. Otherwise, we're set for August 8th as the next meeting for committee. Anything else? For the good of the group? All right, cool. Adjourned?
You need a motion.
Can we?
Yeah.
I move to adjourn the Ripon Community Media Committee meeting.
I'll second that. All in favor, say aye.
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 Thanks, Travis, appreciate it.
Yeah.
And we're.
Have a good meeting at the engagement session.
Thanks, everyone.
Actually, are we not invited to film that?